Over the years, I have observed with keen interest the aspect that technology, and especially animal-based technology, has not taken root in Africa, and in comparison to crop biotechnology. When you look at the crop sector, a lot is going on as opposed to the animal biotechnology sector. And the question for me is why?
Biotechnology is here with us. It's a reality. There is growing population in Africa, around the world, and the issue of food and feeding those numbers of people remains critical.
Livestock is very important in Africa, but specifically what came out for Kenya was that about 40% of the GDP from agriculture comes from animals. But what is surprising is that animal biotechnology has only been at the research level and has not gone to deployment.
Biotechnology is part and parcel of what we do, especially in animal breeding and genetics. And one of the major challenges why it has not reached the farmer, one is majorly because of the issue of costs. So if you look at things to do with, for example, multiple ovulation and embryo transfer, which is part of biotechnology, it is slightly costly.
The key challenge for me is lack of national priority. There is no defined agenda that wants to promote sustained animal biotechnology. The other one is lack of integration of the end users by the researchers. So when there is no agenda, then the researchers are forced to look for money from donors who have other agenda. So now we are left in the laboratory, and then we link from the farmers. So when you come up with a product, the farmers also reject it because they were not part of it.
I think communication, there's nothing we can do without communication. We really need to communicate. So whatever the scientists are doing, they need to communicate. Whatever the policymakers are doing, they need to communicate. The regulators, they need to communicate with the public. And that communication is very vital because it will remove the misconceptions. It might not remove totally, but it will, at least people will understand what they are getting into. You know, even the so-called activists, I'm sure there was a lot of debate about activists, whether we should bring them on board. I think they should definitely be brought on board.
We are not opposed to biotechnology. Our position is that that technology is not supposed to be at the expense of the welfare of animals. So that is one. Number two, it is about how this connects to the global situation, that Africa is part of a global community, and the technology that we have developed, we got to make sure that it is not responding to an external agenda. Africa's biotechnology development has to be relevant for Africa, driven by Africa, led by Africa.
We need to think about our future. There's a very, very big emphasis on conservation of wildlife, which we need to because it brings in a lot of tourism. And we also need to think about how we're going to conserve our wildlife. But are we thinking about how we're going to conserve our food for tomorrow? It is easy for us to conserve the seeds of plants, but for animals, the only way we can conserve our food for tomorrow that is coming from an animal is ensuring that this animal survives. We have challenges like climate change, and we need to see how these animals will get better adapted and be there for us to have as food on the plate tomorrow.
Globally, animal biotechnology is also now moving towards giving products to the farmers. So Africa will receive animal biotechnology products either from outwards or the one developed from here actually. So the point is that it is good that Africa prepares to assess those products and ensure that they meet the international standards of safety and they can be adopted by our local people.
How would I describe the workshop in 3 words? Informative, very technical, and engaging.
The workshop was well organized. The topics were, I think, very appropriate.
Very enlightening, and also I learned a lot myself. I've also networked. Now I've even known the people I've never met before.
I found the workshop very, very invigorating. The discussions were really very, very interesting.
This workshop is God-sent. I can say it is a very, very good workshop. And it has been lively, and it has very good messages that come out.
So going forward, it is my hope that this meeting will be the catalyst that we need to start something that will involve us to have an agenda for animal biotechnology and ensure that its benefits are reaped.